I think I screwed up. I consider myself an action adventure jack of all trades. You're not gonna find someone who gets in the nooks and crannies, down and dirty. You're not gonna find someone like me. I don't usually consider myself someone who is easily swayed by marketing, but I fell for it. I fell for the hype on the new Insta360 Ace Pro, a new action camera that I think I regret purchasing. I don't remember what day it was. I think it was the day before Thanksgiving, or maybe it was a couple days before Thanksgiving. Sometime before Thanksgiving, I saw a video pop up about this new action camera with a flippy screen. And then I saw another video about it, and another, and another, and I saw probably like 50 videos drop on the same day about how great the Insta360 Ace Pro is, especially in low light, guys, compared to the GoPro 12 in low light with the stabilization. And I saw all these great mountain bike videos in low light, and it's just like, wow, the low light is better, the stabilization is better in low light. I feel like I done got suckered into buying this camera, and let me explain why. I didn't realize, I should have realized, but I did not realize at the time that although most of the videos I saw, if not all of them, were not sponsored, they were given the camera for free to review. And they were all also given, or at least most of the ones I saw were also given a GoPro 12 to review at the same time. And it was like, oh, pit our new Ace 360 versus the GoPro 12. And I have been in the market for a new camera for some time. The first thing I'll say is there's not a lot of info out on how to adjust the settings. So the first footage I shot, I was like, oh my God, I made a huge mistake because it was super sharp. The sharpness was on high. I couldn't figure out how to change the sharpness. Luckily, I did figure that out, so hopefully this isn't as sharp. But what first got me was the low light performance. Like, oh man, this low light performance looks amazing. Full moon tonight, although it's not fully up. Got the back of a shopping center, and we have an abandoned field. Now, how is this low light? Because now we're talking about low light. How's the noise as I get backlit from the rising full moon? Hopefully there's no alligators. How's the wind noise? This is low light. This would be pitch black on a GoPro, guaranteed. So this is the true test. Partially risen full moon, a little bit of back of a supermarket in the distance, but pretty much nothing else but me and the frogs. To be fair, I don't do a whole lot of stuff in low light because, you know, cameras aren't that good in low light. And either I'm bringing my big camera to get better low light, which takes up a lot of space, it draws a lot of attention to itself, it's not durable, it's not waterproof, or I'm bringing my GoPro. I have the Hero 9, the GoPro Hero 9, which sucks in low light. But considering that we have been doing a lot of caving lately, I was thinking, in addition to getting a stronger headlamp or another headlamp, maybe better low light performance on a video would be good for these amazing caves that we're going to see. And then it was all downhill from that decision. I will admit it was an impulse buy. One of the things also, aside from the low light, was this fancy magnetic mount thing. Wow, magnetic mount, clips in and out so easy. Now, I don't know if I have a defective magnetic mount, but it definitely unclips easy, but clipping it in so that it is secure is not super easy. And in fact, I question whether I feel safe even using this mount, doing one of the many things I do with an action cam, which is cliff jumping. I do a lot of high impact stuff, you know, like cliff jumping, canyoneering, caving, co-steering, a lot of stuff where the camera might be getting smashed against rocks or the impact against water. And my experience with that magnetic mount so far has not been good. And it makes me one of the many reasons why I second guessed this purchase. That was the first one. before I even turn the camera on, the magnetic mount is like, oh, this is not as slick as they make it out to be. The second one was, oh, by the way, found out the lens cover is not replaceable. On the GoPros, you can like take that, if it gets cracked or scratched, you could take that lens protector off and put a new one on for like 10 bucks. The new Insta360 Ace Pro, not replaceable. Although I have heard now that they're offering free repair for up to a year, which I don't know why that's a thing, because that's their normal warranty anyway, is free repair up to a year. So that thing, not replaceable. So after a year, you scratch it or crack that lens cover, you have to buy a whole new $400, whatever it is, $500 camera. The third reason why I regret buying this camera is this flippy screen that sold me on it in the first place. I cannot see it with polarized glasses on, so that's cool. An action cam with a screen that potentially could break off or get damaged. Another reason, if you damage that after that first year of warranty, you could be screwed. Another reason why I bought it was it has this zoom feature, 2x zoom. So I can point it, let's say I point it at that palm tree over there, and it zooms in and it stays in 4K. It shoots in 4K and then you zoom in and it's still in. So I was sold on that because it uses something called pixel binning, because it has an 8K sensor and it pixel bins so that it can maintain 4K. Tech nonsense mumbo jumbo that I fell for. I feel like a sucker, guys. I feel like a sucker. A #1 chump sucker. And I think I can send this back. However, got a big trip planned and it's too late to buy a new camera and get it before I leave for my trip. So I'm kind of stuck with it. I think it's free to send back within the first week or two, something like that. But man, I am thoroughly disappointed. The initial footage I saw, super overly sharpened. Luckily, I now have the sharpness down to medium, but there's just not a whole lot of ways that I can test this how I normally use an action cam, cliff jumping and canyoneering and stuff like that. So trying my best to test out the stabilization and give it a look. I mean, image quality is good. I mean, it's not super different than the GoPro 9, I guess. It's a little bit better, but man, I feel like a sucker. So I'm just gonna take it around and mess around with it some more today and hopefully get the settings dialed in before I go on this big trip where I was hoping to use my new camera. And hey, I am not a camera guy, so take what I say with a grain of salt. If you're someone who shoots with an action cam in manual settings and you know how to tweak everything perfect and you dial it in with the color grade, and you know, this might be for you. You know, if you don't do high impact stuff, if you're hitting the pow pow on the slopes and everything's a soft, buttery smooth landing, if you're a mountain biker and you have it bike mounted. But I consider myself an action adventure jack of all trades. You're not gonna find someone who gets in the nooks and crannies, down and dirty. You're not gonna find someone like me. That's why Insta360, you know, if you wanna test the durability and ruggedness, you have me do it, Insta360 or GoPro or DJI, whatever, because I will put it through the ringer. And I will say this, even though I've kind of had enough of GoPro with the freezing up and the overheating issues, up till about like, I think it was like the Hero 6 or 7, they were very durable. I could put them through the ringer, and I did. And they took a licking and kept on ticking. However, nowadays, with the bigger screens that all the companies are wanting to do and the bigger size, and they just seem more and more fragile, which, you know, that might be what some people are looking for in an action cam, but that is not what an action adventure jack of all trades is looking for. Look, nobody is gonna put it through the paces like I will, and maybe it will grow on me over time. These are my first impressions. I'm thinking, do I regret this? Right now I do, but if I put it through its paces and it holds up and it takes a licking and keeps on ticking, maybe it'll prove me wrong. Unfortunately, in Southwest Florida right now, I mean, this is the water that I'm dealing with. So I can't get great underwater shots. I mean, you get the great blue sky and the clouds and the palm trees and the colorful houses, but they got a big problem with their water quality here. So there's no There's no clear blue beaches and springs unless you go out to the barrier islands, and I just don't have time for that today, but we will see. You know, if you're just somebody who walks around a city and vlogs like that, like maybe this will work for you. My first impressions, initial use of it for the past couple days, low light is great for sure, stabilization is good. Not a fan of the magnetic mount, but we'll see over time. I'll check back in a month or so and we'll see where we're at, but right now, man, I'm really disappointed.
Infamous.